At the start of this season, Epic implemented something that I have been waiting for personally for 3 years. Custom weapons in UEFN, which we were supposed to get 6 months after the mode release. But hey, better late than never. Obviously, I've been waiting for this for a super long time, and I was extremely hyped to jump into UEFN and try this shit out, but there was one problem. Prior to this update, I have had absolutely zero experience using Unreal Editor. The only thing that I knew was I read the article for weapon templates, and I was like, I'll give it a shot. Then just went in here and then looked up a couple of YouTube videos as well to try and figure out how to set it up. So the first thing that I tried to make was a recreation of the release day P90. The stats and stuff, at least the ones on paper, were like not at all an issue to replicate and copy over, because it's literally just entering the numbers that you see on the screen into like the weapon template handler. But the difficult thing for me, at least, was doing the modeling part and figuring out how to do the icons and the sound effects, because obviously I'd never used this before, and I'd also never used any like modeling programs like Blender and such. So I had to look at a few more videos to figure out how to bring models into Unreal Editor. So I figured out how to use FORTNITE porting, and from there I figured out how to bring the models from there into Blender, and also found out how to pull the textures off of there, because obviously you need to pull the textures and apply them to the model properly in order for it to look correct, as you can see down here. So once I did that, I then had to figure out the accuracy values, because those obviously not the easiest thing to do. They're not just straight numbers as you would be misled to believe by how the template handles them. And so you may be wondering, if the accuracy is so hard to replicate, how did I do it? Well, the answer is actually quite simple. All I had to do was open up Reboot Launcher, get my build of version 5.10 up and then launch that, find a P90, take screenshots of the standing still, walking, running, crouching, and aiming down sights accuracy, take a screenshot of the default accuracy of the SMG template, open up a Photoshop knockoff because my trial ran out when I graduated high school, find out how much I needed to scale the template's accuracy to match the accuracy of the actual P90, convert that into a percentage value to plug into the template, and then just keep doing that over and over again until I got the right values. So as I said, really easy. After going at that for about I don't even remember, it was about maybe 30 minutes of trying to get that right, including the firing accuracy, which was a whole different beast for a reason that I will explain later. I managed to make a pretty damn good replica, almost perfectly accurate, of the P90 from version 5.10, for the sole purpose of egoing the OG devs. Is that really stupid? Yeah, but hey, I did it. I did it a couple more times too. I did the Scar, I did the Spaz, and I also did the launch day combat. And then after that, I branched off a little bit, just decided to make some custom weapons that I actually came up with the concepts for fucking 4 years ago at this point, my god. And then after that, I had a really random idea. I was like, there's not really a lot about version 1.6 that anyone really still remembers or is able to even access, because for those that don't know, the 1.6 build is, unless some absolute loser is just holding on to it to keep to themselves exclusively, 1.6, the launch build of BR, is completely lost, and there is, I guess, no way to get it back unless it's somewhere at Epic and someone ends up leaking it. But as of right now, nobody has 1.6 to any of our knowledges, so we can't play the actual release build of BR. So what I did, in order to remake these weapons from the launch of Fortnite Battle Royale, was I had to go to Google, look up Fortnite, click the videos tab, and then change the time window of the search results from September 12th to September 19th. That specific window is because on the 20th, that's when they dropped a patch to mega buff every single weapon's accuracy, because it was bad. You're gonna see this shit that I'm about to show you. These weapons sucked ass, bro. But before I actually get into the real contents of the video, I want to do something for you guys. Maybe there's somebody watching this video who's heard what I've been doing and maybe they're a little bit interested in that. So I'm just going to do a quick little segment, an idiot's guide to how to make a custom weapon. Throwing this part in beforehand because I completely forgot it. What you got to first off do is go to project settings, scroll down to beta access, and make sure custom items in inventory is enabled. Otherwise you cannot add anything to your projects. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead because I'm actually going to be probably doing something with this later. So I'm going to go ahead and make a folder for the silenced SMG. And what you gotta do, once you have everything ready, click add, entity prefab, look up template, and there's these 4 templates you can pick through: assault rifle, pistol, shotgun, submachine gun. I got this. I'll just do some simple like this. And that's pretty much the base setup. Now we gotta get to the more complicated shit. Alright, so next up, what you want to do is open up FORTNITE porting, head into assets, go to items, and then in here is where you will find all the different models and textures for the weapons that you want. So I'm just gonna go ahead and search up Figment and find the silenced SMG if my eyesight works. Where the fuck is this thing? Oh my god. Okay, it's right here. Alright, so we've got the silenced SMG right here. Next thing you want to do, open up Blender, get it prepped, get rid of that fucking cube. And then what you want to do now, export to Blender. And, alright, here it is. First things first, this part's going to be selected by default. I think this is the skeletal mesh. You want to just delete that because that's not going to work with custom weapons. Next thing you want to do is make sure that you have the pivot point of this in the right position. So basically this part right here where the center is, this dot right here, this is going to be where you are holding the model from. So if we import it like this without changing anything, the gun model, we're just going to be holding thin air and it's going to be floating in front of us. So we want to position this in the right spot. I will get back to you once I do that. All right, so once you have your pivot point properly set up, well, if it's not set up, you can always fix it later, but once it looks fine to you, next thing you want to do, head into texture paint right here, and up here you will see the file name for it. Go ahead and click this, and then what you want to do is just copy the location of that. And now that you have it copied, all you have to do is just export it. Export as an FBX, that's what I was told to do, and it has worked every time pretty much. So go ahead and do that. And then once it's exported, you shouldn't need this window anymore. You can go ahead and close Blender. If you want to save, go ahead. I don't need to save. You can also go ahead and close out of FORTNITE porting. Next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new folder for this weapon's textures. I'm just going to do... There's that. And what we're going to do after this, we're going to make a new material and... Alright, yeah, that works fine. Next, what we want to do, open up File Explorer, or actually, no, go ahead and just do this. Import, and then paste what you copied into here. I'm sorry, I said paste what you copy into here. I forgot to hit enter. That's my bad. And then find what you need from here. These specifically are what you're going to need right here. The D, the N, and the S textures of your weapons. Can I select multiple in this window? I can. Awesome. So just pull those into here. And we're going to go ahead and open up the texture. Get this out of full screen. And just click on these, drag them into here. And I'm going to show you how you're supposed to properly set this up. So first things first, I believe this is the D file. You want to drag this RGB to base color. This should be the N file. You drag this RGB over to normal. And then this is the speculars, or the S. You drag the G of this over to metallic, the R over to specular, and the B over to roughness, and that is your properly set up textures. Go ahead and hit apply, save that shit, and you should be good on that. See, it's been applied right here. Now we can go back And I'm just going to go ahead and import the model now. Yeah, so once you're on this menu, you shouldn't need to do anything. You can just go ahead and click import. And then after a while, it will load. You want to go ahead and open up this. Open up, find where your textures are, and then just drag those onto the material slot. And everything should be good right here. It should come out fine. You want to first step, but before you save this, change your collision to overlap all, and then set the collision right here, add box simplified collision. Then you save that, and that's all good. Go ahead and get back here. Open up the SMG preset. You can go ahead and now find the submachine gun mesh. You can delete that. Actually, no. First things first, you need to compile your verse code before you do anything else. Because the way to register the model, I guess, is by compiling your verse code. So now that you've deleted the SMG's model, go ahead and add in a mesh component and find the SMG, or find the model that you want, and there it is. You have now applied the model to your weapon template. And now I guess we can go over all the different things that you can change in here. Interact, cannot interact. These are the messages that will appear when you're like hovering over the weapon before you pick it up. So I'm just going to go ahead and change that to just the weapon's name. Suppressed sub. Hopefully I'm not misspelling anything. Let me double check my spelling. Alright, yeah, that's fine. I'll go ahead and paste that here too, because I just feel like having that there for the sake of it. And we got the weapon components here. These are all the areas that you can change the visuals, the damage, the... Hang on, I forgot what this one is. This is the max range, fire rate, reload time. You can change your damage ranges in here too. This is the spread, recoil, how much ammo you have, and how much ammo each shot consumes. And then obviously the sounds. So I'm just going to go ahead and change these, don't mind me. And then outside of weapon component, you've also got a rarity component. I'm going to go ahead and make that just rare. Description component, I think I showed this off already. Icon component, you can change the weapon icon in here. I think that the icon file has to be either a PNG or a JPEG, because I have tried dragging WebPs into here, which is the default file type for the wiki, which is extremely annoying because I have to change it to PNG in my knockoff Photoshop in order to actually use these. Then there's also item component and transform component, which item component you should not change or it might break the weapon, and transform component I don't really know if it does anything. I just kind of use it to help out with the weapon component's visuals to see where in the muzzle the bullet should be coming out of. But yeah, that's about it. The next part that we are on to is weapon sounds, and personally for grabbing sounds I like to use F model. And for those of you that don't know what F model is, this is leaker tools, which I also only learned how to use because of custom weapons. So we're going to go ahead and go into here. I need to find the suppressed SMG. Alright, auto heavy suppress. Any of these will probably work. This is the green one, that's fine. I could be lucky and it could just be in here. It's not just in here. We have to go to the weapon blueprint. Scroll down a little bit. Primary fire sound, we've got that right here. We got to scroll down and find sound wave asset PTR. That is what actually plays the file sound. Okay, this is the medium range. I gotta find the close range. I think I might have scrolled over it. Alright, there's 3 different files I am going to want. Okay, no, there's only 2. Alright, there's that one. Shit, let me pause that, sorry, y'all. Alright, there's that one. And let me also grab this one. Cool. Alright, so we've got both of the close range firing sounds, and I think I already have those sounds downloaded, so I'm not going to personally grab those from here, but if you want those, it's going to be... Okay, it's probably in a deeper blueprint, but you could just keep on scrolling through these. Actually, you know, I'll go ahead and do this. Pistol auto heavy. Should be somewhere in here. Yep, reload sounds 1 and reload sounds 2. That's where you'll find these. Just remember to click on Soundwave Asset PTR. And also, this is leaking an older version of the game. This is version 1.11. This is the Season 2 build, and I'll go ahead and tease something for you guys. I want to be doing this next, shooting model 2. Then after that, you're just going to want to go ahead and grab where you found your sound files. For me personally, it's going to be in the path documents, F-model outputs, export, Fortnite game, content, Athena, sounds, weapons, SMG silenced, and then I've got the 2 firing sounds right here. I'm just going to pick these up and drag them into here. And then we're going to back up just a little bit to content, just regular sounds, weapons, pistol, pistol volley, and this should be the reload sounds that we need. Alright, and now all that's left is to just apply them to the weapon template. So go back to trace weapon component, sounds, and go ahead and get the weapon fire sounds. Drag this right here. Drag this right here. I only have 2 audio files, so I don't need this one and I don't need that one. Just gonna keep those 2 right there. Equip sound, it's usually reload end, because the ending of the reload and the equip sound is usually the same for most weapons. So aim down sights start, aim down sights end, that didn't exist back in chapter 1. Reload start, that's pretty easy. Reload insert, also pretty easy. And reload end, we've already got that right here. If we just save that, and that is a custom weapon created. All that's left to do is close out of here, actually drag the weapon out onto the world, and then launch your session and wait to load in and make sure everything works. Alright, so now we finally loaded into the world. Let's go ahead and head over here. Our weapon. I forgot to change the icon, but here we go, we've got it. It's got a really weird holding animation because you can't change that, I don't believe, but there we go. A little bit fucked up on the muzzle flash location, but that's because I also have not changed that yet, but I can fix that later. Actually, wait, no, I just remembered the entire point of this is to show you guys how to do this shit. I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So let's go ahead and reopen this right here. I'm going to put it in a full screen just for ease of access. Go into the transform component. This is what we use this for. I think that the best way that I was at least shown to do it on one video is try to line up the barrel of the weapon that you're using. Try to line the tip of the barrel up with that magnet icon. Drag this over here so that it hits the edge of the magnet icon. And then I only need to copy this part right here. This is the only part that's fucked up for me. I'm just gonna take this, go back into here, weapon visuals, muzzle offset, paste that, and just save it. Then I'm gonna go ahead and just reset the transform back to 0, close out of this once it's been saved, and then push changes, and we're gonna see if it fixed it or not. Or, I mean, it's always a bit of trial and error with this kind of thing, but it will look better now that I've done those changes. Alright, now we've loaded back in, we can go ahead and re-equip our weapon that I still have not fixed the fucking icon on. Check out the muzzle flash, and it looks much better now. So that is how you make a custom weapon with UEFN from the perspective of a complete moron who only learned this shit in order to make these fuck-ass weapons right here. So now, the moment that you guys actually came here for, the 1.6 weapon arsenal, starting out with, of course, the Scar, which I'm sure most of you are probably the most interested in. I'll go ahead and just take a look at these stats right here. 39 damage, that's the only thing that's different from how it looks right now. I guess also the mag size, because that got nerfed in Season 2 for some reason. I don't know, this is weird changes, but yeah, 39 damage, 5.5 fire rate, 30 mag size, 2.07 reload, and the accuracy I'm sure you guys are most interested in. Doesn't look that bad initially. Looks a little bit wider, but once we start moving, oh my god. Okay, yeah. These weapons, you can see why they needed a major accuracy buff 8 days after BR dropped. Aiming in does not really help that much, but you might notice there, the headshot damage, 64. And not the 98 that I'm sure you guys know the preseason scar is famous for. The reason for that, headshot multipliers have not been added to custom weapons yet, because apparently an environmental damage multiplier was a more important thing to add. So we're stuck with these default headshot multipliers until that shit gets added. But yeah, this is what a full spray looks like when you're sprinting. This shit is so bad. I'll go ahead and just show off all the main accuracy. This is standing still, walking, sprinting. Go ahead and wait for that to reset. This is the crouching accuracy. And then that's the aiming accuracy you can see for like a few little frames before it goes to first shot accuracy, because also first shot accuracy is force enabled on ARs and pistols, which is really, really fun. And now we're done with that. Let's go ahead and move on to probably the next most interesting weapon, the pump shotgun. About what you would expect, these are the same stats from when the OG mode first came out. 95.75, 4.62. This thing's accuracy, ooh. Yeah, this is definitely a lot wider than it is currently. This is the walking accuracy, running, go back, crouch, and then when you aim in, oh my god. It's still so jarring seeing just how much it reduces in accuracy. I think the accuracy aiming down sights multiplier is 0.5. Oh yeah, also, I forgot to mention, no damage fall off on any of these weapons, by the way. So if I run away with the pump, yeah, you can still hit from, this is 44 meters away. If this were, pre-version 6.31, post whenever shotgun snipers got fixed, the max range of this thing would be 40 meters, but it's not. And then next up, the tactical shotgun, right? Wrong. Actually, it's the semi-auto shotgun. And yeah, these are the same stats as just the regular purple tac from, whatever you call it, I don't remember when it got its damage buff. It got its damage buff in Season 9. I'm a dumbass. Yeah, anyways. These are the stats. This is the this is the accuracy. Walking, sprinting, crouching. And then aiming in, not really as much of a bonus. I think this is only about 0.6. But yeah, this is the highest accuracy you can get with a tac shotgun. And fun fact, I have to do that manually because none of the shotguns are automatic. So I had to do the perfect timing with the tac shotgun's fire rate there for you guys, just so that it looked fine. Go ahead and drop this. We'll move on to our next weapon, the standard SMG. And these are probably going to surprise you. 16 damage with a fire rate of 10. Very, very odd, but this, I was looking at the videos. Some people pulled up their inventories and looked at the weapon stats. This is, in fact, accurate to 1.6, which was a serious shock to me, as well as the mag size of 25. Yeah, so I have no idea when this thing got its damage nerfed. All I remember reading from patch notes is that its fire rate was increased by 50% when they dropped the TAC SMG into the game. But anyways, go ahead and close this out. This is what its base accuracy looks like. Walking, running. Honestly, it doesn't even really look that bad. Crouching and then aiming in. And I believe continuous firing. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and say another thing that I have an issue with these custom weapons. Actually, let me go ahead and pull it up. In here, spread, expansion rate multiplier, and cooldown rate multiplier. I have beef with this shit right here because I don't know. No matter what I put it at for a lot of these weapons, mainly the pistol, the revolver, and the regular SMG, it's not right. Like, it's just, I get it as close as I can. I usually base it off of how the accuracy looks at its maximum width. So at least I know the accuracy while you're initially firing is probably a little bit too tight, but these are the values that I got for it being as close as possible when at maximum bloom. So yeah, I hope that there's a little bit more customization added to these spread multipliers soon, because this shit specifically for the SMG is so frustrating to deal with when you're trying to get it looking right. Actually, you know what I should do? I should honestly just do like a full spray montage once I've done all the non-shotgun weapons. We should go ahead and just go from maximum range and see how well they all perform. So next up, we've got the pistol. Actually, I'm sorry, it's the semi-auto handgun. Go ahead and pull these. This is just... These are about the stats that you probably would expect. Go ahead and just pull this thing out, and yeah, that's not looking too great. Walking, running, crouched, aimed in. And then at full spray, honestly, it's not really that bad at the full spray like that, but like this, yeah. And now, our final weapon, the revolver. Which, unlike in OG Season 1 and 2, this thing actually uses light bullets. I'm not going to congratulate myself on that, that is just how it works, and I'm unable to change that. So once again, nothing really out of the ordinary here, nothing that you wouldn't expect to see. This is what its base accuracy looks like. Walking, sprinting, crouched, and aimed in. I believe that both of the pistols have an aiming have an aim down sight multiplier of 0.4, which is quite a lot. And now firing. You see that expands quite a bit. That reload sound is really funny and also pisses me off a little bit because of how the sounds are played. There is no way, as you probably are able to tell, to modify how you hold weapons or any of the animations at least. At least there's no way that I am aware of. So yeah, we're kind of stuck with this thing looking really goofy. But yeah, as I said, I'm going to go ahead and do a full spray from... How far away can I get? I'm just going to go down to this edge right here. See how long it takes to kill with each of these weapons just for fun. This shouldn't take very long. Yeah, no, that didn't really take all too long. The Reg SMG, I'm not too excited for this. This is with trying to keep it at its most accurate state. This shit's ass. Alright, finally. Go ahead and do this with the normal pistol now. Yeah, we started off pretty good, but alright, that took about 3 magazines. I'm honestly expecting the Scar to just be able to one-mag this. Yeah, that's about what I was expecting there. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching this. I have spent... Okay, I started this project roughly like the 8th or 9th. I've spent like a week doing all this. And, I'm sorry if the title was a little bit clickbait. There are no sniper templates or explosive templates or burst rifle templates, as you were able to see in that guide that I made to doing custom weapons. It's just auto rifles, shotguns, SMGs, and pistols. That's all that I'm able to do, so that's all that I made. And I think that these came out pretty damn good. Hopefully some modifications come to this in the future so I can get these looking even more accurate, but yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. See ya.